Okay.
Hey all, myself Vishnu KS. I'm currently working as a senior platform engineer at DPWell, one of the organizers of CMCG Kochi. Today we have Aditya Joshi, a senior software engineer from Walmart, joining us today to deliver a session on the topic Path to Kubestronaut. Over to you, Aditya.
Thanks, Vishnu. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Thursday late evening. So today I'm going to talk about part to Kubernetes, Kubestronaut basically, and what it takes to be the Kubestronaut. It's a title, and it also shows or demonstrates that your mastery on the Kubernetes. So I'll be also sharing my journey with Kubestronaut, how I started and how I earned this badge of Kubestronaut. So before actually jumping into that, I'll start with my introduction. So I am Aditya. I'm a senior software engineer at Walmart. I'm working in one of the platform team within Walmart. This year in March, I became CNCF Kubestronaut, and uh, usually whenever I feel that there is something important to be shared related to tech, Kubernetes, cloud, anything, I usually post those videos on my YouTube channel. So uh, you'll find a lot of good videos, mostly technical videos around Kubernetes and software engineering. Okay, so let's start with the what Kubestronaut is. So it's a badge that represents your expertise in Kubernetes. It shows that someone who is having this Kubestronaut badge, they have a comprehensive knowledge across all the aspects of the platform, Kubernetes platform, starting from application development to platform engineering and to security. So it covers a vast variety of areas and demonstrate your expertise, whether it's application development, maintaining of the Kubernetes platform or any platform that is built on Kubernetes, and also take care of the security aspects as well. Because now, as you move towards cloud native, you must be using a lot of projects, CNCF projects. You must be using Kubernetes, right? And it deals with the security aspect of the Kubernetes, because Kubernetes itself is a huge platform. And if you're running Kubernetes in production, then you have to also ensure the security concerns regarding that. So what Kubestronaut is, basically, in order to become a Kubestronaut, you need to complete 5 certification. It's a mandatory. And there are, as of now, there are roughly 2,000 global Kubestronaut. This title was launched in 2024. And since 2024, we have roughly 2,000 Kubestronaut. It's an elite level status, which means that if you earn this badge, it represents that you have a pinnacle expertise in Kubernetes domain. So let's talk about what all certifications is required, because this is one of the criteria to be the Kubestronaut. So it takes 5 certifications, like I mentioned. One of them is CKA, Certified Kubernetes Administrator. And this certification deals or validates your skills in Kubernetes administration part, whether it's installing up Kubernetes, setting up Kubernetes, managing up clusters at scale, maybe managing up the etcd raft, etcd for as a database for Kubernetes. So it deals with those areas. Then comes the Certified Kubernetes Application Developer, which is CKAD. And this certification evaluates you on your skills towards designing and building applications for Kubernetes. So if you are an application developer, if you're a software developer, or working on or building applications, writing code for that, then this is one of the certifications which deals towards managing or deploying those applications to Kubernetes. Then comes the third certification, which is Certified Kubernetes Security Specialist. CKS. And this certification will be evaluating your skills and knowledge towards managing and securing Kubernetes cluster, as well as the applications that you are running on Kubernetes. Then we have beginner friendly or introductory certifications, uh, Kubernetes and Cloud Native Associate, KCNA. And this is an entry level certification covering the fundamentals of Cloud Native and Kubernetes. The other certification and the final certification that you have to complete in order to be the Kubestronaut is Kubernetes Cloud Native Security Associate, KCSA. And this certificate evaluates you on knowledge towards cloud native environment. So these are the 5 certifications that someone has to complete in order to be the Kubestronaut. It's not just the certification. There are a lot of other criterias as well that needs to be fulfilled to be the Kubestronaut. But this is the first and the foremost and the very important criteria. I'll talk about my journey, how I started preparing toward Cube Astronaut. So I started or attempted my first certification in July 2021. This was the CKAD, and at that time there was nothing called as Cube Astronaut, so it was not introduced at that time. This was introduced in 2024 itself. So I attempted CKAD because I come from a engineering background. Software development is my core expertise or skill. So I attempted CKAD in July 2021, achieved it. Then in July 2022, I attempted CKA. This certification deals with administration part of Kubernetes, managing the Kubernetes infrastructure. And after that, I attempted CKS. And back then, I think July, I think in 2020 till 2024, these were the 3 certifications that were offered for Kubernetes. Uh, the later 2 certification, which is KCNA and KCS, they were introduced in 2024. So I attempted my CKS in 2023, and back then there was nothing called as Kubestronaut, so I was not preparing for that. Uh, so at that time, I completed all the 3 Kubernetes certifications, and these were the certifications available till July or till 2023. Then in 2024, KCNA and KCSA was introduced, and in March 2025, I attempted KCNA. Attempted KCNA in March 2024, completed it. And then in the March itself, I attempted KCSA. So by March 2025, I had all the 5 certifications with me. And since these certifications have some expiry date, these are valid for a certain duration. We'll talk about that timeline as well. But since the first certification that I completed was in July 2021, so my CKAD certificate got expired because back then it used to have a validity of 3 years. So it got expired in 2024. And then in order to become the Cube astronaut, I need to have the 5 certifications at a given moment of time. So my CKAD was expired in 2024. And that's why I have to appear for CKAD again. And I attempted that in March itself. So in March, I completed 3 certification back to back, one after another week. And it was slightly easier for me because CKAD is what I already attempted. And I work, like I mentioned, I work in the platform engineering team. So Kubernetes is like my day-to-day job itself. So I was quite familiar with the syllabus, the command, what it takes to be to clear the CKAD. And I attempted that in March again, and I cleared that CKAD certification. So this was my journey to become, Cube astronaut. And at a given moment of time, you need to have all these 5 certification valid. They should not be expiring. They should have a valid expiry date, right? They should be before expiry. And once you have all the 5 certifications, you will earn that Cube astronaut title. Let's talk about the recommended path if someone wants to enter, or if this is the first time someone is appearing for any of these exams. So let's talk about what should be or how they should approach towards this. So they should, if someone is new to this Kubernetes, right, or if they are preparing to be the Kubestronaut, then how they should proceed. So they should first start with KCNA because it deals with the fundamentals of cloud native, right? They can quickly grasp the concept of Kubernetes, cloud native technologies. So that should be the fundamental or the first step, the foundation step. And that should ideally take 1 month or 2 months of practice to pass that exam. Then this is as per my observation and recommendation. They can take the second certification and as administration, the CKA, and it deals with the cluster configuration, the networking, the storage, because the fundamental parts are you are already covering in the foundation. So there you can easily jump into the administration part. And this should roughly take 2 months of practice. If you're kind of a working professional, then I think 2 months would be a sufficient time for you to pursue towards CK. Then third is the development, where it is towards CKAD, Certified Kubernetes Application Developer. And this deals towards the application deployment, lifecycle management, application lifecycle management, all of them. Now you can swap phase number 2 and phase number 3 depending on your area of interest. So if you are someone who is kind of who is working on application, like building application, dealing with code, right, then you can opt with the phase 3 first, and you can swap phase 2 and phase 3. But if you are someone who is more into DevOps, SRE, right, then you can go for admission part, because you will find it much similar to your day-to-day work. Then the fourth phase is towards security foundation, and here this is towards achieving KCSA, the Cloud Native Security Associate exam, and this is towards your fundamental security fundamentals and the best practices. So roughly 2 months of efforts should be fine for this certification. And then the last phase is towards advanced security. Now this is for me, as far as I have observed, and for me as well, this was one of the toughest exam to achieve CKS, because it deals towards the security, and you need to be very good at on all those concepts. So that is where I have kept phase 4 and phase 5 one after each other, because once you have the basic understanding of the fundamentals of the security aspect of Kubernetes, then you can master them and achieve and go towards CKS certification. So what all resources you should follow in order to complete or achieve these certification? So Kubernetes.io, the official documentation, is your best friend in this case, right? Your exam questions and everything will be from the documentation itself, right? And during the exam, you will be performing few of the exams, like the advanced level exam, basically CKA, CKAD, and CKS in the real simulator, right? So you will be given a terminal, a virtual machine, where you will be executing the environment. So it will be completely hands-on exam. And the two exams, which is KCSA and KCNA, these are multiple choice based exam. So you don't have to perform a hands-on implementation here. But for CKA, CKAD, and CKS, it's completely hands-on. So there will be scenarios based questions, and you will be given a time duration of 2 hours, and within the 2 hours you have to solve all those questions in that simulator. So during that exam, you will be having an access to the browser, and in that browser, only Kubernetes.io, the official docs website, is allowed. So only that website can be opened, and you can take the references during the exam from that documentation. You can copy the commands, you can execute those commands, and if you want to look for certain things during the exam, you can do that uh, from the documentation. So only that particular website is kind of allowed in that simulator environment. Then the next thing is you need to be hands-on because these exams are completely hands-on, right? You can practice these exams on killer.sh. So once you enroll in these hands-on exams, you will be getting an access to killer.sh where you can, they again, they provides you two mock tests where you can execute or appear in those mock tests. Then Code Cloud also offers you a simulator where you have to execute the commands by yourself, and then there you can also look for play with Kubernetes site for experimenting or learning uh, uh, the scenarios. uh, you can also do all these things on your local cluster as well. So you can spin up a local cluster, or you can use a cloud provider. It can be Azure, AWS, right? Any or GCP, any cloud provider. Or you can set up Kubernetes locally as well on your laptop, right? Either you can use Kind. So Kind is a tool that allows you to run Kubernetes locally with the help of Docker containers, or you can use Minikube or K3D, right? So you can use any distribution to run Kubernetes. But the whole idea is that you should be able to execute commands against that Kubernetes cluster. You can either follow the courses, so Cloud Guru, Pluralsight, or Udemy, or you can refer YouTube videos as well. So as long as you are able to grasp the concepts, it should be fine. And then I can recommend you a few books: Kubernetes in Action and Kubernetes Up and Running. Although I'm not a great fan of books, but if you have sufficient time, you can go through these books. But the whole emphasis or the majority of your time should go on hands-on labs, because at the end of the day, when you appear in the exam, you will be performing all the commands, and it's going to be completely hands-on. So that's a pro tip. So practice is the key. You need to practice. You need to be very fast with the command. So as long as you see the question, you should be automatically triggering up those commands in your head, that you should be aware that, okay, if this is the question, then you need to execute which kind of a command, or even if you want to refer the documentation, which documentation or which keywords you have to look for in order to, get the solution to the problem statement. So practice is the key. You can set up your own Kubernetes cluster where you can perform different scenarios. And since the certification is completely hands-on, so theoretical knowledge won't suffice, right? You need to be hands-on. You need to be very good with the commands. Let's talk about the exam format. So all the certification are performance based. So for each certification, there is a different passing score, and you need to clear that cutoff in order to pass that exam. So for a few exams it's 60%, for a few exams it's 70%. So it depends on exam to exam. For KC, for exams which are not hands-on, uh, you will see that the scoring or the completion percentage is slightly higher. But for exams which are kind of a more technical or more hands-on, the score to clear the exam is comparatively lower. So exam format is completely hands-on. Within the duration of 90 to 120 minutes, you will be you will be given the time frame in order to solve those scenarios. And once you kind of appear in that exam, complete all those questions, you will be getting the results after a day or a two. And in that result, you will be getting to know whether you cleared it or not. So there is no as such prerequisites. Let's talk about the prerequisite, like in what order you should appear in this exam. There is no as such formal prerequisite, but there is one exception here, that if you want to achieve uh, CKS, like if you want to appear in CKS, then you should have a valid CKA, right? You can't directly go and ahead and appear for CKS exam. So practical experience is highly recommended in this exam in CKS. That's why this is one of our mandate. CKS, with my experience, CKS is like one of the toughest exam. Rest you can easily do with sufficient practice, but CKS takes sufficient time. Validity and renewal, all of these certifications as of now comes with a validity of 2 years. So if you're appearing for that exam right now, as of now, which is July 31st 2025, then they will be valid till July 30 2027, right? So, and once you kind of once the certification expired, you can always renew them. And renewal, you will have to again pay the exam fee, certification fee, and then you can re-enroll, right? Now there are certain discussions as of now going in the Kubestronaut community. It's a private community, so people who have entitled with this badge, they are the part of that community, where as of now there are discussions going around that if someone who is kind of already a Kubestronaut, maybe can we skip the elementary certificate or the beginner certifications, which is for renewal, for which is KCSA and KCNA, because someone who has already achieved the title of Kubestronaut, they are well versed with the fundamentals. So this is still not officially announced. Still, thoughts are given on this idea. But once these things are finalized, this may happen or may not happen. It's completely a community call. And but once if this happens, then probably there will be an official announcement for that as well. Okay. So it's not just the certification that someone should aim for these with or someone shouldn't aim for the title itself, because it's an outcome, honestly. So don't chase for the certification or the title. As long as you have skills, right, you can easily achieve the certification. It's an outcome of your skills. So I'll keep in mind that thing. And what all skills you are going to master if you start preparing for these certifications? Cluster management, right? You will be getting to know how to install Kubernetes, how to configure it, how you can do upgrades seamlessly without much of a disruption, how you can actually take the backup of the Kubernetes cluster, how you can do the restoration, and how you can also set up a highly available Kubernetes cluster where you can have multiple master nodes running across, or multiple instances of the master node running across multiple regions in order to ensure region failovers. By the way, all these cloud providers, they already come up with HA, which means that the master node is by default distributed across multiple regions in order to ensure that if one of the region goes down, or if one of the AZ goes down, your cluster won't get impacted. So you will be also getting to learn about the application development, how you should develop the applications if you wish to deploy them on Kubernetes. So you will be learning about the pod design, the pod configuration, how you can have multiple containers, the patterns used for running up multiple containers within a platform, how you can set up observability, how you can ease out the things by using something called as customize, how you can package and distribute your applications with the help of Helm charts. So all of those things is what you are going to learn in application development. And if you are preparing for CKAD, then you will be going to learn all these concepts there. Then security hardening. So if you are preparing towards KCSA or CKS, then you will be getting to know about the RBAC, how to have the role-based access control, how you can set up network policies so that different application won't communicate to each other, or a specific application can communicate with each other. So you can set up those policies with the help of something called as network policies that is available in Kubernetes. You're also going to learn about the admission controllers, so how you can define admission controllers, how they are going to help them, how you can create or set up mutating webhook admission controller or a validating webhook controller. So all of those things is what you are going to learn when you are preparing for CKS, right? How you can ensure the runtime security, how you can ensure that someone doesn't get a root privilege to your container. So all of those is areas is what you're going to learn here. You're also going to learn about the networking. So it's an overlap of what you are going to learn in CKAD, CKA, and the CKS. So you are going to learn about CNI plugins, Kubernetes services, different types of Kubernetes services, ingress, how to set up the networking, how to expose your applications to the outside world, how to troubleshoot the ingress issues. So all of those is what you are going to learn in the networking areas. Then storage. So storage is you are especially going to deal in the CKAD exam, because and CKA as well. So there might be scenarios where you might have to create storages for your applications. So you might have to you create the storage, right? PVs, PVCs, PVs, right? And then you might have to bound those PV and PVCs, the storage basically, with your application, with your pods. So those kind of exam questions you can expect uh, in CKA and CKAD. So you will be going to learn about the PVs, like how to create these PVs, the different type of storage classes, and the CSA drivers as well. So it's a recent addition, not a recent addition, but I think from Kubernetes version 1.21, CSI drivers were kind of enforced, and in-tree based mechanism was kind of removed. So this is CSI drivers are nothing but container storage interface. It's an interface that allows all these cloud providers and vendors to have their storage drivers that allows easily to provision the storage or expand the storage. Before CSI, there used to be an entry mechanism where all these cloud providers has to write their individual uh, integrations with the storage, because the storage was provided by these cloud providers, right? So AWS, for say, they can provide you block storage. Similarly, uh, Azure can provide you disks, right? So, but all of these cloud providers has to do their own integration with the Kubernetes. That's why there used to be all these cloud providers used to support their specific implementation of Kubernetes, right? Generally it used to be the fork of the open source, but they used to uh, add their add-ons for provisioning of the storage. So CSI enables interface, and that interface has to be implemented, or that can be implemented by all these cloud providers, where the storage provisioning was kind of became easier. Uh, with all these certification, the hands-on one, the CKA, CKAD, and CKS, there's going to be a lot of troubleshooting that you are going to deal. A lot of debugging you are going to do with the cluster, a lot of debugging with the applications. Your application might be crashing, so there can be n number of reasons. That's what you are going to learn here. Uh, Performance issue as well. You will be going to learn to find the bottleneck, what is causing the performance issue, whether it's the infra, whether the node itself are are draining out, or there is a lot of throttling happening at the node side, or whether it's at your application side. So all of those areas is what you are going to discover here. Observability is one of the key area that is being asked in the exam. So you will find questions regarding observability in the exam. So that is what you're going to deal with the troubleshooting. So a lot of troubleshooting related to cluster, the networking, storage, application not running, crashing, right? You are also going to learn about how you can safely deliver secrets, your API keys to these applications that are running within the pod. So all of those things you're going to learn here. Okay. Uh, if there are any questions, I can take one or two of them. Otherwise, I'll move to the last slide. Okay, I can't see any of them in the chat. So I'll move to the next slide. Okay, so here are some tips, that I would like to share with you if you are pursuing for these exams, right? You should focus on hands-on if you are going to attempt any of these exams. Your 70 to 80% of time should go into hands-on exercise. That's very, very, very important. You should also master the kubectl command line tool. It's a CLI used to interact with Kubernetes. So you should be very good with that. You should know the aliases for running specific commands, or you can, during the exam environment itself, you can set up your own alias. That's going to cut down your time there. So you can configure the aliases and then you can use those aliases. Speed and accuracy is the crucial during exam, because there's going to be a lot of pressure. You will be having uh, rough under close to 20 questions, right? Between 15 to 20 questions in these hands-on exam. And uh, you will be having a limited time. In the time you have to solve these questions, right? uh, you will, although you will be having access to official docs, but finding the solution from that official doc, you should be well versed with the official docs. You should know where exactly to find things, how to find things. So I'll give you an example. So if you, let's say if your question deals with uh, the storage part, like how you can create a PV or a PVC, so you should know where exactly you are going to find that particular resource in the official docs. So there should, you should have already a mind map with you in your head, that okay, if questions is around storage, then I have to navigate to this section. Or if the question is related to pods or multiple containers, then I have to navigate to this particular page, right? uh, for me, what I used to do, I used to figure out the keywords. So assume that the question is around PVC, right? So in the official documentation, there is a search bar on the top. You can always type in the keyword there, right? If you are well versed uh, with the Kubernetes, then you can simply type the keywords and just search, and it's going to give you a lot of links. And based on the link, right, based on the description, you can easily navigate. So what I used to do when I was practicing this, I always used to go to the official docs, right? If I'm stuck with some question during my preparation, and I'll search for the term, right? And the search result will appear in the official docs, and from there I simply I can easily figure out, okay, that this is the link I have to open. Do I have to open the first link or the second link? So I did a lot of practice on that. Like if you keep on visiting if those links, or if you do lot of searches there, then you will easily get to know that, okay, if the question is around this, then you have to visit the first link or the second link. It's up to you, but you should also explore the official documentation, because personally it had helped me. And if you're fast enough, if you are uh, uh, doing things on time, clearing up those questions in time, and if you encounter all of new question or out of box question which you haven't prepared for, if you have sufficient time, then you can go to the official documentation and search for that solution and do solve that. So this happened to me personally. There was one of the topic which I hadn't prepared, or I was not aware that that I had to prepare for this topic as well. And the topic came in, that question came in front of me. But since I was quite fast enough with all of my previous question, I had sufficient time, and I searched the official documentation and read the official documentation, the entire page, and I got to know the solution, and I implemented that in the exam. So if you are keeping, or if you're saving your time, then it's obviously going to help you. You will have sufficient time to review your solutions once you have appeared, or once you have attempted all the questions. So uh, cut short, official documentation, you need to scan through that official documentation. You need to know what things appear at which page. Time management, practice time management. So the simulators that I was mentioning, either you can set up Kubernetes locally, or you can use cloud provider, right? Or you can use such platforms like killer.sh or code cloud to practice your exam. So there as well, try to clear those questions within the time duration that is mentioned, allocated to you. That's going to speed up things for you. Then the last thing is, you can consider joining study groups. You can form groups with folks who are kind of preparing for the similar exams. That way you can share your knowledge, you can share resources, you can share your experiences. If someone has already appeared for those certifications, they can share their experiences with you. So you can learn from the community, right? You can join study groups, learn from the community, and share your experiences with the community. Yeah, that's it I had for this presentation. If you want to reach out to me, you can just scan the QR code, and you can DM me or LinkedIn, Twitter, right? Anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we have one question here.
Okay, yeah, I can, yeah, there is a question. I'll read out the question. Any platform where we can find a like scenarios question? So honestly, uh, there is no such platform which is going to give you exact questions, honestly. But similar questions you can find in Code Cloud. So in Code Cloud, I'll be very honest here. If you are appearing for any of their labs, uh, uh, the lab-wise question, they are slightly easier, right? But their mock test is quite good. So with every section that they cover, the video tutorial that they have, there is a lab exercise as well. That's quite easy, but their mock tests are quite good. You can think of them as a close to the real scenario. Then if you want to get a feel of how the environment actually looks like, because if you're appearing for the first time, understanding scenario, the environment itself for you may take time. And that is where I will recommend you to explore the killer.sh. So whenever you're going to purchase this certification, you can always go killer.sh, right? They give you I think two mock tests, and there you are going to get complete environment. You will be seeing a remote desktop, a VM, where you will have a terminal, a browser, right? And you are going to perform the commands in that terminal itself, that is in the VM. So you can, if you want to get the feel of that environment, you can always go killer.sh. And they also have the mock tests. So their mock tests are quite good. They are slightly near equal to the exam scenario, or the level is slightly higher. So yep, you can attempt for those mock tests as well. I know that killer.sh is quite costly, but for me, what I used to do, so most of the time I used to set up things by myself locally. So you can use kind, just one command that's going to spin up Kubernetes cluster for you, or you can think of using Docker Compose, where you can, just spin up multiple Kubernetes cluster and practice there. Or maybe you can, go with a VM, take a VM, or take multiple VMs and set things by yourself. For me, what I used to do, I used to have certain scripts that I wrote by myself, and you can find them in the GitHub as well. So you can just run those scripts. They are going to provision the environment for you, and you can practice there. Once you are done, you can just tear that down that environment. So that is what I used to do. But I would say try to do things locally as long as you can. If things in your local machine are not working, then go with a setting up things by yourself in some VM, or uh, maybe some different environment other than killer.sh. Code Cloud also provides these labs. So again, it's not near to the real environment, but they do have hands-on labs.
I have one question, Aditya. Like, so I did my CKAD 19, I think. At that time, we had an option, like even if you fail in the first attempt, there was another attempt.
Yes.
Retry attempt.
Yes.
Is it still there?
That still holds true. Yeah, that still holds true.
Okay.
So if you kind of if you are not able to score to the eligibility criteria, you will still have a attempt, and that is valid for a year.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, another thing that I feel like, KCSA and KCNA, they are foundation certification, right? So if someone who already completed CKA and CKAD and the CKS, right? So just for the Kubestronaut label, is it work to do, or what is your take?
It's important to do. So if I share my journey as well. So if you see here, I completed all the major certification by 2023.
Right.
And by that time, Kubestronaut was not announced. It was announced in 2024, and in 2024 itself, they announced these two new certifications, KCNA and KCSA. So I had to attempt that. And in order to be the Kubestronaut, you need to have all the 5 valid certifications. So my CKAD got expired in 2024. So my CKAD got expired in 2024, and that is where I had to kind of a reattempt for CKAD in March, because I wanted to complete all the certifications by March. So back then, I think there used to be an expiry of 3 years, but now it has reduced to 2 years. So now every certification that you do, it's valid for 2 years only.
Yeah, and there is no such rule like KCNA or KCSA is now mandatory to attempt CKA or CKAD.
No. But like I mentioned, that there are still discussions going on. Once you achieve this, the Kubestronaut title, do we really have to attempt the KCN and KCSA if they are expired? So these are still in discussion. Nothing concrete as of now. If something happens, if there is a concrete decision, then there will be an official announcement. But yeah, there are still discussions going around whether these should be mandatory for recertification.
Okay. Do we have any more questions, guys? Like, if you have any questions, please feel free to put in the chat or in the Q&A section. Okay, I think then that's it.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Aditya, Like I know that it's a work week, right? And you find some time to spend with us with the CMCG uh, Kochi group, and it's really insightful session that you have arranged us for today. It was really good, Aditya.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vishnu. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for everyone who have
Yeah.
joined today's session. We are looking forward for your participations in the upcoming sessions as well. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I mean, for joining late night. I know it's late night in India, at least. Thanks for just, signing in.
Thank you.